Okay, here we go. So today we're talking about odds, and the objectives is to do the odds against an event and odds in favor of an event. And as you guys have already seen, these are the odds against an event, and this is the formula, which is odds against. This is the probability of failure over the probability of success. Now we're going on to example that I was getting ready to get into. We're trying to find the odds against rolling a 4. So what we first do is we find out what's the probability of rolling a 4. So we're going to have, so odds against is the probability of not a 4 over the probability of it being a 4, right? So when you roll a die and you are not rolling a 4, so how many 4s are there? One out of what?
5.
One out of 6. 1 out of 6, okay? I'm showing you why the numbers are the way they are, according to the formula, okay? And then how many are not 4s? 5, because you got the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, right? So that's 5. So that means that's the same thing as if I was to say 5, 6 divide by 1/6, right? Don't you guys agree?
I'm confused.
I've got a reason for what I'm doing, okay? Even though you're like, what are you doing?
I'm so confused right now.
Okay, that's okay. I'm going to confuse you here in a minute. So remember, when you are dividing a fractions, you keep, change, flip. So let's keep the first one, change that, and you flip it. You guys remember doing that at school, right? Whenever you divide fractions. So that makes these 6's go out, leaving you with a 5 to 1. Right? 5 to 1. So that's the reason I would say, when we're doing odds against, I would say not 4 to 4. Right? When we were doing the Skittles.
Yeah.
Did you get to do the Skittles?
I know what we're doing yesterday, but not that.
Okay.
I understood yesterday completely, but it's a little bit confusing.
Well, it's okay. But I'm explaining what the definition is of against. Okay? But you can go, really you can go to here by saying how many is not 4 to how many is a 4. But I'm showing you the definition of how we get those numbers. This is the odds in favor. And as you can see here, this is the formula used to determine odds in favor. So odds in favor is the probability of success over probability of failure. Note to self that the odds against are A to B and the odds in favor are B to A, which you just flip them. I think you guys learned that yesterday, right? So as you put, it says, I've already put it here, this is the odds in favor, so it'll be success over failure. I don't know if you guys want to write that down. So, a lot of people's got smartphones, right? So we're going to talk about smartphones. So we have an individual here who owns a smartphone, and they're selected at random, okay? I'm going to erase this. Okay. So we need to determine, this is A, we're going to go with odds against a Google phone, right? A Google phone. So we're going to put This is the odds against, right? Odds against, so we're gonna put the failure over success, right? So I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna put the not Google phones to the Google phone. Start right good on that phone. Okay, now let's look at the odds against. So first of all, I'm gonna look at the odds. So you guys see this right down here, this says Google, and it's supposed to say 29%. So I'm gonna put the 29, if this is 29%, what do you think the not Google phones are? That's everything else.
It would be 100 minus 29.
Yes, which is 100 minus 29. It will be 71% over 29, which is really saying 71 to 29, right? 71 to 29. So on part B says, what are the odds in favor of it being a Google phone? If we know what the odds are against, what do you think the odds in favor are?
The exact opposite. The opposite, I flip.
You flip it, which would be what?
29 over 71.
29 to 71. It's that easy.
Makes more sense.
Makes more sense? But I did have to explain to you the definition of how I got the number.
I don't know, the definition just confused me for a second.
Well, I've had a student before who would say, where'd you get these numbers and what happened to the probability? And I said, okay. So I'm explaining, this is how I'm deriving the answer. Does that make any sense?
Look at me being backwards from that student.
I know, but I've had students ask me why things are the way they are, and I've had to go explain in detail, okay? So it's not that I'm trying to be difficult, I'm just trying to.
For some reason, the definition just confused me, and once we done it, it was so much easier. I don't know.
Okay, now I know a lot of people downstairs like to play the pool, right? There were even some students last semester who would fight over who's gonna get the pool table. They can't wait to get out of Miss Jackson's class and go play pool. So I just thought I'd put the pool balls up here for an example. So let's look at this. So this is a rack of 15 balls, right? 15. And by the way, this is not racked right because the one usually goes here and 8 goes in the middle, right? I don't know anybody that plays the rack. You know, you put them all in there and then you go, right? Okay, so we're looking at A. So what's the odds against containing a stripe? So odds against a stripe. So when we say odds against a stripe, what do we put on top? We put not stripe to stripe, right? Because odds against is failure to success. So we go over here and we count them. So how many are not stripes?
8 of them.
There are 8 of them, right? Count them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just happen to be in order. So there's 8. So if there's 8 of those, how many are stripes?
7.
7. You can take 15 minus 8 and get 7, or you can just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? You can write it as 7 over 8, or you can also write it as 7 colon 8 colon 7, or you can write it as 8 to 7. So if you wonder on Alex, he'll say which one of these to pick. All these are correct, but you just pick one of them. Okay? So a lot of people think of this as like a fraction. So you read it as 8 to 7. 8 to 7. So you're more likely to not hit a stripe than hit a stripe. Going to B part. If we're gonna run. It's okay, I'll put B here. The odds in favor of hitting a ball other than 8. The odds in favor. In favor. A ball, let's put a little space there, a ball other than the 8 ball, right?
Yes.
So, odds in favor, we're doing success over failure, right?
14 over 1.
So, odds in favor, so it's 1 to, so how many are not 8 balls, would you say?
14.
14 to 1. One person asked me, said, Miss Jackson, can I just put 14 because 14 over 1 is 14? I said, no, you have to leave the 1 because it just means 14, 1. You can't just put 14. Alex will say wrong, try again. But if you put 14 to 1, it's right.
Because it's 14 against 1.
14 against right. So you're more likely to not hit the 8 ball than to hit the 8 ball. So if you hit the 8 ball in that first time, you are lucky. Because you're more likely not to hit the 8 ball. Unless you put the 8 ball here, like it's racked like that, you're probably going to hit the 8 ball. Right? C. Let's look at C part. What's the odds in favor of being an even number? So, odds in favor of even. So if we're going to do odds in favor, we're doing success over failure, right? Which means, what does that mean? What is 7 over even to not even? How many are even?
7.
7. Do you count them?
Yes.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that's right, 7. Just checking. If 7 are even, how many are not even?
8.
8. You can take the 15 minus the 7, get 8, or you can just count them. D. Odds against any red coloring. Odds against. So we're going to do odds against a red. Against. Whether it be solid or striped, right? So odds against means odds against is going to be failure over success. So odds against, so how many are not red to red? You don't have to.
13
Okay,
equals 13.
now you can't count this one, this is a dark red. So you're going to count the 3 and
11,
the 11, yes? So how many are not red?
13.
13. So you got 13 to
2.
2, right? Because you got one solid one, which is the 3, and then you have the 11, that's a stripe. Are there any questions on that? Okay. Well, and also one of the boys were down there playing, and they had like, somebody was striped, somebody was solids, and there were more stripes than solids, and they said, I'm solids. Do you think I have a chance of making it? And they had all this, the striped ones were around, and I said, the odds is against you. Because I thought, your solid's going to hit a stripe, unless you can shoot around it. Okay, so now we're looking at this. As you see, there's a picture like this on your Alex. Did you guys notice that? Have you got that far? Okay. I thought I would just copied and pasted it right there. So looking at this, Hong, I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, won a charity raffle, and his prize will be randomly selected from 9 prizes shown below, which is more like right here. So these prizes you can have 3 rings, a camera, or 5 headsets. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Looking at A, what's the odds against winning a ring? So we're odds against So odds against. So it was the failure over to success. So what I'm saying is, how many is a not ring to a ring? How many is not rings?
6.
6, right? You just count them. 6, right? To how many rings?
3.
3. D, heart. So what is the favor of Hong? I guess that's how you say his name. Winning a ring. The favor. So favor is success over failure. So it would be
3 over 6 is
3 to 6. Yes, you can put 3 to 6. You can write this way, or you can write 3 to 6, or you can put 3 to 6. All those are the right answer, but you can only put one of those.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But if you was to put this, it can be simplified. It'll say this is correct, but the simplified is 1 to 2, right?
Vice versa for the other.
Vice versa, yes. But this is correct. But it's saying you could also simplify it to say 1 to 2. That make sense?
Yes.
Questions? Okay. That's the end of my presentation. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?